Joni Mitchell, she was right. And she may have been inspired by the volcanic mountains of Hawaii, but you can easily translate her thoughts to Texas. Paving paradise to put up a parking lot, or in this case, a wall, which I thought Mexico was still paying for. 800,000 acres. 1,500-foot limestone canyon walls. Dinosaur bones right there in the grounds. 450 species of birds. And it's one of the last places left in this country that's dark enough where you can see the Milky Way with your bare eyes. It's Big Bend National Park in Texas, and now it is being scarred by the work of bulldozers. The locals, they protested, they wept over this callous act. And no, they're not paid protesters bust in from somewhere, as Republicans have called them. They're real locals. And they stood watch as a machine uprooted trees while the javelinas trotted past, which, by the way, I had no idea what a javelina or peccary, otherwise known as a skunk pig, I had no idea what that was. I think that skunk pig could have been one of Andy Dwyer's band names. But if you don't know what a javelina or skunk pig is, just picture a wild pig that got told it's not really a pig, and it's been pissed off about that ever since. I mean, these things look like if I were tasked with drawing a 90-pound wild pig from memory, or if Jimothy the raccoon just happened to be pig-shaped. Skunk pigs aside, right now, Big Bend National Park is getting roughly $1.7 billion of federal construction driven straight through it, out of a total $46.5 billion wall budget in Trump's big bill.
We are at war with these people. It's a peaceful war, but if you think what we've seen so far is bad, you wait until they unleash holy hell on this place next week.
This has nothing to do with border security and everything to do with corruption.
By the way, all of this is taking place in a stretch of border where the crossings are damn near zero. And the dumbest part, this wall they're building, it's not even a wall. Because after locals objected, they quietly swapped this 30-foot steel fence for 17 miles of vehicle barriers that are those interconnected steel X shapes, 4 to 6 feet tall, plus a patrol road that runs the entire length of the park with cameras and lights and sensors. Ultimately, though, the barrier, just 4 feet tall. You can kind of get over it pretty easily. So we have $1.7 billion for a bunch of metal X's, a gravel road, in a place that's already guarded by a 1,000-foot cliff. And Speaker Mike Johnson, bless him, when he was asked about it, when we say build a wall, in some respects, quote, it's a metaphor. Yeah, the great metaphor, the big, beautiful metaphor, the metaphor that other countries are going to pay for. 10 years of chanting, build the metaphor. 10 years. And the Speaker of the House, instead of a wall, he sees more concepts of a wall. And public lands are at risk under this Trump regime. I got to ask you guys, what is the one place that is your absolute line in the sand? The one place in America that you would get most upset over if it got Trumpified? For me, it's Zion National Park, my favorite place in the country, the most beautiful place in the country. But it could easily be Yellowstone, Glacier, the Everglades, Hawaii, Alaska. What do you guys think? What's the one place that you would draw a line in the sand for? Drop me a comment. Now, by the way, this gets even worse. To make this happen faster, Homeland Security waived its contractors out of the pesky obligations that are created by dozens of federal laws. Now, they might just be little laws like the Endangered Species Act, the National Environmental Policy Act, and more. And all of those laws, they get to be ignored with the government's blessing. According to the Center for Biological Diversity, this is the first time in American history that the federal government has thrown out a broad slate of environmental laws inside a national park. No reviews, no public input, no comment period, just permission to destroy entire ecosystems. And reports have said that demolition crews have already been blowing craters in the bedrock with sticks of TNT just outside the park. Agents are saying things like, quote, nobody knows about it because there's no one out here to see it. I mean, that's got to be the Trump 2028 campaign slogan, right? Do it where nobody's looking. Kind of like that time where he said, when you're a star, they just let you do it. You can do anything. And according to Bob Krummenacher, he used to run the park that is getting the blasting done. And that blasting, according to him, alters the view, disturbs nesting of falcons, and sends debris right into the Rio Grande. And rightfully so, that type of assessment is what is drawing opposition from both sides of the aisle. Terrell County Sheriff Thaddeus Cleveland, fantastic name. He's a Republican and 26-year Border Patrol veteran. He believes in border security 100%, and yet he says of building in this specific area, it's unnecessary. Republican Senator John Cornyn, he wrote to Homeland Security relaying that his own constituents think that the 1,000-foot riverbank cliffs serve as their own deterrent. A Republican county judge, Greg Hennington, he said that they're killing a gnat with a sledgehammer and wasting a colossal amount of money. Even Greg Abbott said back in 2016 that Texans do not want a wall in Big Bend. Republican sheriff, Republican senator, Republican judge, Republican governor, Republican congressional candidate, all of them saying, not here, not in my backyard, not like this. You think Trump listened to him? Hell no. Trump doesn't care. Markwayne Mullin doesn't care. The bulldozers don't care. Maybe Homeland Security should have just complied and listened to local law enforcement. And by the way, Big Bend, it's not the first nor the last that's going to go through this. This administration has moved to strip protections for more than 86 million acres of public land this term, totaling over 100 million acres across both Trump terms. That accounts for more than a third of everything that Teddy Roosevelt ever protected. Bear Ears, Grand Staircase shrunk by about 91% for uranium and coal. A contractor already partially bulldozed an ancient Native American etching in Arizona. The answer to that, they described it as inadvertently disturbed. And James Tallarico, who's running for Senate down there in Texas, he said probably the most fitting quote. God already built a wall through Big Bend, and it's called the Chisos Mountains. Look, this is one of my hot button topics. I think public land is the best and last thing in America that belongs to all of us equally. A billionaire and the family that has to work overtime just to pay for the gas to get there. They own the exact same share of Big Bend and parks like it. Nobody can outbid you for that view of the Milky Way. And that's the whole point of it. But that's also why that Trump and his goons can't let any of it be. And that's why I'm going to ask you guys to hit that notification icon. And if you want to go a step further, our channel memberships are how an independent operations like us keeps speaking for the land.